Vanakkam. In this session, we will discuss the key concepts of SAP PP and MM. Before going into the session, let us see the answers for the quiz we discussed in the last session. What are some key modules in SAP? They are PP, MM, SD, Finance and Controlling, Quality Module, Plant Maintenance, Project Systems, and Success Factors, many other things. SAP modules are integrated, true or false? Yes, all the modules are integrated. Any change in one transaction or one parameter will affect all other processes. What are the key processes in materials management? In materials management, the determination of requirements, source determination, vendor selection, purchase order processing, purchase order monitoring, goods receipt, goods issue, inventory management, and invoice verification. These are the key processes in materials management. What are the key processes in production planning module PP? Demand management, MRP, production order management, and like material issues and receipts, which are part of MM, they are also part of the production planning. And here capacity requirement planning is not mentioned. That is also one of the key process in PP. In SAP, the business approach changed from modules to processes. What are the key processes we asked? They are procure to pay, plan to product, and order to cash. So few sub-processes in procure to pay are operational purchasing, collaborative sourcing contract management, inventory basic warehouse management, invoices and payables management, supplier management, and procurement analysis. These are the sub-processes in procure to pay process. Name a few sub-processes in the plan to product processes. They are product control and product development, product engineering, production planning, production orchestration and execution, quality management, inventory and basic warehouse management, and maintenance management. These are the sub-processes in plan to product process. See, for specific to this course, I hired one dedicated server S4HANA 2022 to show the demonstration. It is dedicated for the members of this specific course. If you want to practice in the dedicated server and along with me during this course, you can reach me in the email ID which is given here, and I will give you the server provider details. You can contact him and get the server access. So we'll continue the course by understanding the key concepts of PP and MM modules. In a previous session on the impact of SAP on business processes, we went through the typical business process flow, especially related to manufacturing. Here we see the flow from demand, that is coming from sales and marketing team, orders coming from customers, sales and operations planning, MRP, master scheduling, purchase requisition, purchase orders, planned order, production orders, goods receipt, goods issue, quality management, inventory management, delivery, etc. Here we can see that how critically various modules like SD, PP, MM, QM, and the extended warehouse management and the FICO are integrated. And any change in specific parameter or any transaction or any process in one module will affect all the process in other modules. Since our course is focused on production planning and execution, and that is the PP and materials management MM, we will focus on the key elements. What are all the key elements? We will introduce them before we go into deep about this, the transaction processes from the next session. So this is the overview of production planning and execution processes, PP module. We discussed this in the last session also. So a demand is generated and they give the numbers from forecast, that is from sales and marketing. During SNOP meeting, that is sales and operations meeting, these numbers are converted into the final demand. After the demand management, they are going to the material requirement planning. After material requirement planning, system is giving planned orders for the items to be produced in-house, purchase requisitions for the items to be purchased from outside. And then purchase is purchasing the materials, which is giving into the stock. Now based on the production order, capacity is also checked, production orders are released. To execute the production, materials are issued to this. And then after executing the production, the goods are received into the stock, that is the goods receipt process. This is the overview of the production planning process. So what are the key elements in SAP PP module? First is the master data. Master data is the blood now for SAP. It is always garbage in, garbage out. The master data includes material master, work centers or resources, routing or master recipe, and then bill of materials, and then production version. These are all the master data involved in production planning. What is a work center resource or routing master recipe? We'll see later. Next is the sales and operations planning. This is a very important process to define and arrive at a consensus demand plan that is discussed among various functions like sales, marketing, business development, operations, supply chain management, and finance teams. SAP facilitates this process to meet customers' requirements on time with optimized cost. And then production planning. After completing sales and operations planning, the consensus demand plan is arrived, and then the supply plan must be managed. SAP facilitates this with material forecasting, demand management, long-term planning, and master production scheduling. Material requirements planning, MRP. MRP facilitates the right material at the right time, in the right quantity based on demand, master data, inventory, and open orders. Demand-driven replenishment, DDR. DDR is the supply planning with adjusting the supplies timely based on real-time demand. This reduces the bullwhip effect, which causes either accumulated inventory or failure in customer service. If you do not know bullwhip effect, I suggest you please go to YouTube, search bullwhip effect. You will get very interesting videos on bullwhip effect. It is better you will learn what is bullwhip effect. And then production planning and detailed scheduling is called PPDS. In S4HANA, this is included in place of APO. APO is replaced with this PPDS and also the integrated business planning. This is to facilitate advanced capacity planning and heuristics for materials planning. After completing this course, I will also conduct the PPDS course also, but it is after completing this our PP and MM. Then capacity requirement planning, CRP. As we discussed earlier, one of the constraints from the supply side is the available capacity. It is required to do capacity evaluation properly, and if required, capacity leveling needs to be done to optimize the production capacity spread over various work centers or the resources which is used in the process industry. And then product cost controlling. In business, it is important to understand the cost of production, product cost, and the variance between standard cost and actual cost. This will help the decision makers to analyze the situation and take appropriate actions. Product cost controlling, that is a costing with PP module, and it ensures all production related costs are accounted properly for overheads, variances, and work in process, WIP. Kanban is a process to replenish stocks based on full system by using Kanban cards. SAP facilitates the Kanban process for in-process metal transfer, in-house production, and externally procured items. It is essential to have proper visibility of processes and the results. SAP provides a large number of information systems and standard and flexible analysis reporting options, so users can use them for detailed analysis and to make decisions accordingly. So when we talk about production, there are three types of production, and these are all applied in SAP. SAP is supporting all these three types of production. The production types are determined based on the frequency, complexity, and or the stability with which a product is produced in the production process. The selection of production type is one of the first steps while implementing SAP system to reflect the reality of production process and also to set the system in the right way. For example, discrete manufacturing type is used where the production process is order-based, involves special procurement types, or when products are stored in interim store locations between the production processes. Similarly, the process manufacturing production type is more suited to continuous manufacturing processes, or the product is generally in liquid or gas form. Repetitive manufacturing, that is REM production type, is selected if the production process is relatively simple with a linear production line involving one operation and one work center to enable the company to benefit from lean manufacturing. Our course is focusing on discrete manufacturing only, but the concepts, whatever we are learning from this course, can be applied to process manufacturing and repetitive manufacturing with little your learning and application of your knowledge there. The discrete manufacturing production type, which is also known as shop floor control, describes the production of a product based on production orders. Discrete manufacturing is implemented where the products change frequently, the demand pattern is irregular, and the production is workshop-oriented character. The most important master data required for discrete manufacturing are material master, that is, what are all the materials we are using, bill of materials, that is the components or structure of materials used to produce the products, work centers, that is where the product is getting carried out, routing is a sequence of operations and how the production is getting carried out, and the production version. This is the combination of bill of material and the routing. In S/4HANA, production version is mandatory for discrete manufacturing and the subcontracting processes. Typical examples of discrete manufacturing are gearbox and components manufacturing, equipment manufacturing like cranes, crushers, etc., steel rolling mills. In these manufacturing processes, the entire production process passes through various production steps. However, customers can place orders based on different level of the processed goods, that is, different kind of sub-assemblies, which means customers may require the components or sub-assembly or different combination of products from these processes. With the discrete manufacturing, the company can produce not only finished goods, but also produce and semi-finished goods at each production step to meet the customer demand. The production process in discrete manufacturing starts with creation of production order manually or the conversion of planned order generated from MRP run. Actually, this is the production process. Before that, we have the planning process. This is the execution area. The production process is the request to the production department to produce the product at a specific time and in specific quantity. Production order contains the work centers to utilize the material components that are required for production. While creating production orders, automatically components required for the production order are reserved through reservation. Please note here, they are reserved through reservation. Purchase requisitions are created for externally processed operations, because there may be some 4 or 5 operations. One operations may not be able to be executed inside the plant. Then that particular operation only they will send it and process it and get it back. That is called external processed operation, which we will discuss later in detail in a separate session. And then material availability checks also can be carried out. That is, availability check can be carried out during the creation or release of production order, so that we can understand whether the materials are available to execute the orders, and also we can exercise some controls whether we can stop creating or stop releasing the orders. And then capacity requirements are created for the work centers at which each operation of the order will be executed. If needed, capacity leveling can be carried out. Then production orders are released based on the release date, and then production order related documents are printed to prepare the production execution. Components required for the production will be issued. Then product is produced based on the production order. Finished quantity is confirmed with respect to the production order. Then the product is put into the store location, goods receipt is posted. Finally, the settlement of the production order is ensured. This is the complete flow of the production order execution. Now we will see the process manufacturing. Process manufacturing is the batch-oriented and recipe-oriented production of main products or core products in the process industry. Manufacturing can be in the form of continuous production, discontinuous production, or regulated production. Most important master data required for discrete manufacturing are material master, that is materials to be produced, bill of materials, that is again what are all the components to be used to produce the product. Resource, this is similar to the work center what we discussed in the discrete manufacturing. Here it is called as a resource where the production is getting carried out. Master recipe is the sequence in which the production is carried out. It is a combination of resource and bill of materials. And then production version. Production version is a combination of master recipe and bill of materials. So these are the master data. Please note here, as I told, resource and master recipe is used instead of work center and master recipe. In continuous production, the product is continuously produced, raw material is continuously supplied to the production line, and the plant and machinery are in continuous operation. An example of continuous production is fertilizer manufacturing, where the production process is continuous. In this, urea is produced from ammonia on continuous basis. Please note that ammonia production is also a continuous process. In the manufacturing processes, intermediaries like ammonia will be stored in bulk tanks before feed into the urea production process. Similarly, urea is stored in bulk silos before packed in different sizes. Similar process is followed in pharmaceutical industry in producing products like tablets, capsules, syrups, injection, etc. In discontinuous production, the products are not produced in a continuous process. Instead, the material components are provided and weighed out as a required each step of the production process. Discontinuous production is found in industries such as food processing, detergent manufacturing, etc. Regulated production is used if the product quality requirements are very stringent and the specific industry standards must be met. This type of production is generally followed in pharmaceutical or cosmetics manufacturing. In regulated production, orders can be created only with approved recipes. If changes need to be made to master recipes, these are subject to master data change administration procedures. This is the flow of the process order execution. The sequence is given step by step. If you are interested, you can go through it. Since we are not going to cover these process in our course, I'm not going to explain them individually. But if you want to go through, please go through it. Repetitive manufacturing (REM) is the interval-based and quantity-based creation and processing of production plants. With REM, a certain quantity of stable product is produced over a certain period of time. Repetitive manufacturing is applied where highly repetitive production happens, production volume is stable and predictable, lead time is short, lean manufacturing is required, and shop floor is product-oriented with cell manufacturing concept. In addition, we may consider implementing repetitive manufacturing when the following are true, like you produce the same or similar products over lengthy period of time, and you do not manufacture individually defined lots. Instead, total quantity is produced over a certain period of time. Your products are always follow the same sequence through the machines and work centers and production. Routing tend to be simple and do not vary much. If these four conditions, that is, you produce same products a lengthy period of time, you do not manufacture individually defined lots, the products follow the same sequence through the machines, and routings do not change much. If these things are applied, then repetitive manufacturing can be applied. The goals of repetitive manufacturing are creation and revision of production quantities on a period and quantity basis, and reduction in the production control effort and simpler backflushing tools. The most important master data elements in repetitive manufacturing are material master, bill of material, production line, that is instead of work center we use production line here, and then rate routing. Instead of work center here we are using rate routing, then production version. These are the master data. In repetitive manufacturing, intermediate products are not put into intermediate storage. Products produced with repetitive manufacturing concepts in general are electronic goods, automobiles, durable consumer goods like washing machine, refrigerators, and motherboard assembly in computer manufacturing. This is the process flow of repetitive manufacturing. As I said, as we are not discussing the process industry, here we are not going to discuss the repetitive manufacturing process here. So I'm not going to explain this much here. If you want to see this, you may go through it. So production types are also classified based on the production flow and various other characteristics. So let us start with the type called job production. Job production is the production technique of special or non-standardized products as per customer orders. The production line is arranged to suit the requirements of particular job. It consists of bringing together of materials, parts and components in order to assemble and commission a single piece of equipment or product. Examples here are construction of boiler, bridge construction, ship building, book printing, designer dresses, etc. Then batch production. Batch production is where the manufacturing processes are split into a number of different operations, each of which is carried out on the whole batch before it is moved on to next step or another batch is received. The batch is moved from one stage of production to the next until all manufacturing process are completed. Batch production involves the manufacturing of group of identical items and is normally used when the demand for the product is relatively constant. Examples of batch production are baked goods, computer chips, software, dye, mold making, jig or fixer production, flat pack furniture, newspaper or magazines, etc. And then mass production. Mass production is the manufacturing of large quantities of standardized products, often using assembly lines or automation technology. Mass production facilitates the efficient production of a large number of similar products. Mass production is also referred to as flow production, repetitive flow production, series production, or serial production. Like these different names are there for mass production. Examples are like automobile car companies continuously it is there, canned goods, that is drinks, cool drinks, like that, over the counter drugs, and also the household appliances. These are all coming under the mass production. All these three types of production types, like discrete manufacturing, repetitive manufacturing, process manufacturing, that is based on the nature of product. Like under discrete manufacturing we have job production or batch production. Under repetitive manufacturing, we have mass production. Under process manufacturing, we have continuous production or mass production. These things are there. These discrete manufacturing, repetitive manufacturing, and process manufacturing, these are classified in SAP. How this is can be applied? That is what is now for job production, batch production, we can use discrete manufacturing. For mass production, we can use repetitive manufacturing. If it is for continuous production or mass production, we can use process manufacturing. So in generally, what are the industries applied? For discrete manufacturing, automobiles, pumps, engines, computers, etc. And repetitive manufacturing like consumer goods, electronic items. For process engineering, chemicals, steel mills, cement, process goods, pharmaceutical, etc. How the production flow, if it is order based and complex, then discrete manufacturing is better. If it is lean manufacturing without order types, then repetitive manufacturing can be used. If it is order based and used in continuous flow, then process manufacturing is better. Order types used in SAP are called as production order in case of discrete manufacturing, process order in case of process manufacturing, period-based planned order in case of repetitive manufacturing. The master data used, these are already we discussed, like a metal master, BOM, work center, routing, production version for discrete, metal master, BOM, production line, rate routing, and the production version for repetitive manufacturing. And then bill of material, metal master, resource master, recipe, production version for process manufacturing. Here we see the overall the manufacturing process, starting from the forecast, then production plan, MRP, procurement, production, and selling to the customer. In this, where materials management is coming. Materials management is coming from procuring the materials, then storing, that is inventory handling, goods issue and goods receipt, that is also inventory management. These are the main areas of the materials management in the business process. So this is the procure to pay process. We discussed this overview of a process in the previous session, where we talked about first the determination of requirement will be done, and then source will be determined, and then vendor will be selected. Then purchase order will be processed and sent to the suppliers. It will be monitored to receive the materials on time. Then the materials will be received, invoice will be verified, payment will be processed. Also, after having the stock, it will be issued to the stock, then the stock verification, then various things will happen. Those things we discussed as the main elements earlier. So the key elements in S4 HANA MM are what? These are the, again, master data. For MM, specific master data are material master. So material master we discuss in PP, here also MM. Material master is common for almost all the modules, right? It is having basic data, sales view, purchasing view, planning view, execution, that is scheduling view, forecasting view, accounting view, storage view, costing view. Like that, we have different views. All those things we'll discuss individually in detail in the following sessions. So material master. And then business partner, that is a vendor. In the business partner, we'll be discussing the vendor for MM part. Then purchasing info record, that is a relationship between the material and the vendor. And then conditions, what are the conditions we are going to buy? It is related to commercial conditions, then how the dispatch has to happen, those kind of things. And then the source, what are the source where we are going to get it? Those things are covered under master data. Again, the master data garbage in, garbage out. If we give proper master data, system also work properly. If you don't use the master data properly, that also will not give any right output. Purchasing process involves various activities like creation of purchase requisition either manually or from MRP, then creation of quotation, request for quotation, purchase orders, external service management. Then there are various special procurements. I will just explain special procurements just after the next slide. And then we have material requirements planning. Then the inventory management. That inventory management involves goods issue and goods receipt, physical inventory, then returns to the suppliers, reservations created manually or with respect to production, those kind of things, stock transfers among store locations or among the plants, and the invoice verification. Also, it involves the reporting and analytics. These are the various elements involved in MM process. We just a little elaborate on the special procurement type. The traditional production process involves procuring the components from suppliers and vendors, producing them in-house, and eventually selling them to the customers. However, in an integrated and a globalized companies, right? Both the companies on a small manufacturing basis and companies with the giant production setups, whatever it is, they get material across various companies, various plants, various countries, various locations, and they're all becoming diverse business. It is becoming challenge. Also, a lot of complexity involved in logistics and supply chain processes. All these processes are mapped into S4HANA with respect to procurement, inventory management, and production processes. So, what are those kind of complexities? For example, if you are outsourcing some operations of a production to specialized vendors for value-added process, then it is like subcontracting process. You need to procure some components used in assembly from your company's other plant that is in distant location. Then it is interplant stock transfer or stock, and also you have a vendor who keeps the materials in your warehouse, but you only pay the vendor when your company consumes the materials. That is a consignment process. And your utility company provides with you the utility such as water or natural gas in pipeline, which is always available. However, you only pay the utility company for the quantity of utility consumed, that is the pipeline materials. So these business scenarios are more accommodated with special procurement type in SAP S4HANA. These business processes vary from the list what we given here, and this special procurement key is maintained in MRP2 view of Metal Master, and also settings are done in the configuration. Those things we'll discuss in detail later. Materials management is highly integrated with other functionalities like finance, sales, FI, controlling, CO, production planning and execution, PP, sales and distribution, SD, quality management, QM, plant maintenance, PM, and warehouse management, WM. MM is the one module which is integrated with almost all other modules in SAP. Purchase requisitions are internal documents used to request the purchasing department to procure a particular quantity of a material or service for a particular date. Purchase requisitions are either created manually by users directly or automatically by MRP. Printouts of purchase requisitions are not really required because companies are using them digitally, and any release or approval can be done digitally. Many companies have implemented an internet front end like SAP Fiori for purchase requisitions, and authorized users can use the relevant Fiori app to enter the materials and service they need. When you create purchase requisition for materials, whatever the details we maintain in the Metal Master, they will be copied into the purchase requisition. And purchasing department converts the purchase requisition into request for quotation or purchase order or outline agreement with a value contract or quantity contract or scheduling agreement, whatever the case it may be. After establishing that a metal or service is required, the purchasing department needs to convert the purchase requisition to purchase order. The SAP S4HANA can support the purchase department using the request for quotation in the source determination. So we have to enter the request for quotation for the relevant material or the required service. We should also enter the request for quotation manually or with reference to purchase requisition. Entering the quotation with respect to purchase requisition I will have advantage that information already there in the purchase request will be copied automatically into the RFQ. So also you can allocate the required vendors to the RFQ. System will determine the address from the data on the respective vendor master. So using the RFQ has a lot of advantages that the metal has not been used previously used in the company. RFQ can be sent. Previous material, now there is no identified vendor that can be used. A new vendor is required to determination because of the terminated contract, maybe due to quality issues or delivery issues. A new vendor is required because of the bankruptcy of the vendor. A new vendor is required to do government regulations, or new vendor is required for logistics issues. Also, the format or layout of the RFQ can be customized as per the business requirement. RFQ can be sent to various vendors via email, fax, or electronically. With today's level of company spending, the purchasing department must evaluate each vendor's capacity, on-time performance, quality performance, understanding the company's business. When selecting which vendors invite to submit quotations, the purchase department will use number of inputs like vendor suggestions from the questionnaire, research on vendors, or trusted vendors with whom the company has the contracts. So you send the request for quotation RFQ to the chosen vendors. Vendors also, they are coming to know about companies' needs to reduce the purchasing cost and prepare the RFQs accordingly. Many vendors are also using technology to calculate the threshold of what purchasing department is willing to pay based on the quality and the logistics factors. Vendors know that being the lowest bidder won't necessarily to win the bid, but they also know that submitting a low bid is very important. And once we send the RFQ to the vendors, then they send the quotations or they send the rejection letters. The purchase department maintains the received quotations in S4HANA system. They perform the price comparison of the quotations and all technical comparisons, then choose the quotations which can proceed further. Other quotations are rejected. While the system offers price comparison capabilities to enable a purchase user to decide lowest bidder, lowest bid can also be rejected due to some technical reasons or other delivery reasons or many other reasons. For example, your company may have an urgent need of a material, so the bid ultimately chosen to cost more or offers less favorable payment terms, but it takes less time for the vendor to deliver. It may be cost, it may be less favorable terms, but he can quickly supply. So even though the cost is more, that can be selected. And also the vendor that supplied the winning bid will then be offered the purchase order. We also have the option of saving the purchase info record, the purchase conditions, and the quotations in which we are interested. If the RFQ is for long-term supply or require a specific delivery schedule, then company can issue a quantity contract, a value contract, or scheduling agreement. A quantity contract is a contract with which the vendor where the company commits to buy agreed upon quantities of materials and services from vendor over a specified period of time. Value contract stipulates a company's commitment to procure materials or services based on the value. So even when contracts with the vendors are in place, the company needs to issue the contract release orders with reference to the contract each time the company is ready to purchase materials or service from the vendor. The contract release step ensures effective control is in place over the procurement process. So the contract is still valid at the time of contract release, and also the quantity being procured does not exceed the quantity or the value. Scheduling agreements validity is of particular importance as well as to check the vendor's compliance to the communicated schedule to deliver the ordered quantities. A purchase order is a formal request, or it can also called as a formal contract. It is one of the formal contracts to a vendor to supply certain goods or service under the stated conditions. You can create purchase orders without reference or with reference to purchase request, RFQ, or another purchase order. A purchase order normally contains the purchase order number, what is the date on which it is created, billing address, ship to address, special terms and instructions, list of items with quantities, payment terms agreed with the vendor, negotiated price for each item, like this. When you enter the purchase order data, the system suggests default values. For example, it suggests the ordering address as well as the terms of payment and the freight from the vendor master record. If I maintained a material master for a given material in the system suggests the material short text in the material group, for example. If a purchase info record already exists in the system copies a price proposal to the purchase order. You either send the purchase order to a vendor or you carry your stock transfer order in another plant belonging to your company or group. With a stock transfer order, you can consider the associated freight cost in the purchase order. Companies use purchase orders for many reasons. Purchase order allow purchasing department to communicate their intentions to the vendors. So they protect the vendors in the event of a dispute arises over the items, quantity, etc. A purchase order is also a component in a three-way match, which we'll discuss later, which matches the PO to goods receipt document and vendor invoice against the payment. Purchase order can be printed and sent to the supplier either physically or faxed or email. Vendor can be assigned when the purchase order is created via source list or via process called source determination. Goods receipts are mainly used for receiving the stocks from external vendor via purchase order or receiving the material from in-house production, that is via production orders. Goods receipts are also used for movements that initially create inventory in the system or for entering the materials received without purchase order. Goods receipts are important because they move the material into stock, updating the stock level and allowing production to occur. Every company has the procedure for the receipt of material, and these procedures must be considered when using the goods receipt functionality in SAP. If a material is received into stock, either unrestricted or to the quality, the value of the material is posted into the plant accounts, meaning the company has spent money to have that material into the plant. Posting a goods receipt to stock concerning the purchase order has several advantages, like the goods receiving point can check whether the delivery is the same as the purchase order data and whether the goods that are ordered have been delivered. The system suggests data from purchase order when you enter the goods receipt, like item and quantity. And also it is making easier to enter the receipt of goods and check the over delivery and under delivery when goods arrive, and also restricting it if there is a deviation. Among other things, purchase order history is also automatically updated because of the deliveries, so that the remainder also can be sent to the suppliers in case the materials are delayed. Once you do the goods receipt, the system creates a material document containing information such as material delivered and the quantity delivered. The system also records the store location in which you place the material. In transaction relevant to the material valuation, system creates at least one accounting document which records the effect of goods movement into the value of the stock. Goods issue for materials can be done either for a subcontracting process, a production order, or delivery for dispatch or to the cost center, or it may be also the issue of the scrap or for sampling process. Many things are there, and these goods issue may happen manually or they may be happening automatically also. For example, goods issue for production may happen through backflush, which is automatically happening. Inventory counting is a crucial aspect of effective inventory management for businesses. It involves regularly assessing and recording the quantity of goods or materials a company has on hand. Accurate inventory counts are essential for several reasons. Financial accuracy. Inventory is a significant asset for many businesses. Accurate counting ensures the financial statements reflect the true value of the company's assets. This is crucial for making informed financial decisions and presenting the accurate financial reports to the stakeholders. Operational efficiency. Knowing the exact quantity of items in stock helps streamlining the operations. It prevents overstocking or stockouts, optimizing the supply chain and preventing unnecessary carrying cost or potential disruptions in production or sales. Order fulfillment. Inventory counting is essential for order fulfillment accuracy. Reliable stock levels help businesses meet customer demands promptly, improving customer satisfaction and loyalty. Preventing theft and loss. Regular inventory counts help identify discrepancies between recorded and actual stock levels. This can be indicative of theft, pilferage, or errors in the supply chain, allowing businesses to take corrective measures promptly. Regulatory compliance. Certain industries and regions have regulations regarding inventory reporting. Accurate counting helps ensures compliance with these regulations, avoiding legal issues and potential fines. The usage of SAP in inventory counting enhances many benefits. How SAP contributes are like providing real-time visibility. SAP provides real-time visibility in inventory levels, enabling businesses to make informed decisions based on the most up-to-date information. SAP automates many aspects of inventory management, reducing the likelihood of human errors during counting and data entry. This leads to more accurate and reliable inventory information. SAP integrates with other modules like sales, procurement, and finance, ensuring the inventory data is synchronized across the entire organization. The integration streamlines the processes and facilitates better decision making. SAP's reporting and analytic capabilities allow businesses to analyze historical inventory data, identify trends, and forecast the future overstock or stockouts. Inventory counting is essential for sound business management, and leveraging SAP enhances the accuracy, efficiency, and overall effectiveness of inventory management processes. Service procurement incorporates the functionality that is relevant to the procurement and execution of services at a company. A service master record is a document that contains the information on a service. The service specifications are listed services that can make up a particular task or project that the company needs to procure. Services can be planned to use a service master record, or they can be unplanned, which means instead of referring to service master, it can be referred a monetary limit for services performed. The service received from service provider can be entered using a service entry sheet where they can be documented like hours or specific details. In the service procurement process, the user creates a request. Assuming that the request is serving from a regular service provider, we don't need to create the quotations because it is assumption. Service provider perform the delivery of services, then they are maintained in the service entry sheets. Invoice verification takes place against the service entry sheets maintained in the SAP system. Material requirements planning is a critical aspect of supply chain management that helps businesses ensure they have the right materials in the right quantities at the right time. MRP is essential for efficient production and inventory management. Using SAP to carry out MRP offers many advantages. MRP in SAP facilitates the creation of production schedules based on demand for finished goods. It considers the required raw materials, components, sub-assemblies, ensuring that production is aligned and actual demand, which leads to optimized production planning. And then by analyzing the demand and production schedule, SAP's MRP functionality helps business maintain optimal inventory levels. This prevents overstocking, reduce the carrying cost, and minimize the stockouts and ensure the smooth production process. The SAP MRP also enable communication with suppliers by providing accurate and timely information about material requirements. This facilitates collaboration and helps build strong supplier relationship, ensuring a reliable and efficient supply chain. And then demand forecasting. SAP MRP capabilities include tools for analyzing historical data and predicting future demand. This helps businesses anticipate material requirements, reducing the risk of shortages or excess inventory. Real-time visibility, that SAP provides the visibility into the entire supply chain, allowing the business to monitor material movements, production progress, and inventory levels. This visibility enables quick response to changes in demand or supply disruptions. And also the SAP MRP is seamlessly integrated with other modules like SD, PP, MIN, and then inventory management. This integration ensures consistency across various business processes, facilitates data flow among different functions. Also, MRP in SAP helps business optimize the use of resources by aligning production with the demand. This leads to reduced idle time, improved machine utilization, and enhanced overall operational efficiency. Material requirement planning is crucial for effective supply chain management. Leveraging SAP for MRP brings about enhanced efficiency, accuracy, and integration across the enterprise. It enables businesses to respond swiftly to changing market demands, improves the production planning, and maintain optimal inventory levels, contributing to overall operational excellence. SAP supports three-way match. A three-way match is the process of comparing the purchase order, invoice, and goods receipt to make sure they match before approving the invoice during the goods receipt process and the invoice checking process. This ensures that the customer's order, supplier delivery, and the goods receipt note all reflect the same information. Duplicate invoice check. Duplicate invoice postings happen when a single invoice received from a vendor is posted in the system more than once and consequently paid more than once to the supplier. The reasons for duplicate invoice may be vendors are sending the invoices more than once because delays in payment or misplacement of invoices. And invoices are posted twice because of the inefficiency of the accounting staff, and duplicate invoices posted by staff to defraud, that is the frauding the organization. Duplicate invoice posting which can be prevented in SAP. SAP is having the options to stop this duplication posting with the proper configuration setting which can detect and avoid the duplication posting. So duplicate invoice postings can be prevented adopting inbuilt features, that is a normal standard configuration can be done, can be avoided. So in this session, we discussed on the production planning and business, different types of production, key concepts in SAP S4HANA PP, material management and business, functionalities of MM and integration of other modules, key elements in S4HANA MM, and brief introduction to various purchasing processes. Let us go through the quiz questions related to this session just to refresh our knowledge. What is the sequence of standard production planning and control cycle? What is the importance of capacity requirement planning? What are the different production types? Which production type is followed when there is a frequent change in production and irregular demand? In what scenario repetitive manufacturing is used? What are the examples of the products for process industry manufacturing type? Which are the master data required for discrete manufacturing? Which are the master data required for repetitive manufacturing? What are the master data required for process industry manufacturing? Where do we maintain special procurement types? What are the key master data for procure to pay process? List some special procurement types. Which are the modules integrated with MM? Right, at least 4 modules. Purchase requisitions can be created manually only, true or false. What is the purpose of getting quotations from vendors? Goods receipt can be done only from purchase requisition, true or false. What is a three-way match? What are the advantages of inventory counting? So please go through them. Answers will be discussed in the next session. Having understood the key concepts of materials management and production planning in S4HANA, we will see navigating into SAP S4HANA 2022 dedicated server, like setting some basic settings. There are many settings we need to do before we are making it a user-friendly as a system. That will be seen in the next session. Please give your feedback to improve the flow and contents, and also please suggest your friends and colleagues to subscribe to the channel so they get the benefit of these knowledge sharing sessions. Meanwhile, if you would like to hire the dedicated SAP server to practice along with me, contact me in the following email address. Thank you. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye.